We're currently standing at the entrance of Lormerance Estate, which, if you'll pardon the pun, really is the engine room of a whole lot of enterprises. On my right over here, you'll see that it says Lormerance 2.1 kilometers, Motor Museum, Terradil Capo, Blue Ridge Farm, Drakenstein Stud and Ulsterneck. So it really is the epicenter of the very fibre of Lormerance. And today we're going to concentrate on the Lormerance Queen's Plate, which of course is South Africa's most famous and of course most heralded weight for age contest over 1600 meters. 1 million rand on the line, and of course Jackson went to the post as the warm favorite. But it was the Dean Kannemeyer, son of Western Winter, owned by Christine Laidlaw, Lady Christine Laidlaw to be absolutely correct, who really gave the opposition a galloping lesson over his favorite trip. Let's go to the parade ring right now and pick up the action, after which we'll speak to a very learned young man called Mark van Deventer for his assessment of the post-race takeout for the forthcoming J BMet. This is the 2014 rendition of the Lormerance Queen's Plate.
On the move on the outside of runners, we got Castle Thorpe was 3 deep into the home straight. Cape Town sits on the rail, and behind that comes Xavier de Ora. Yorkers being followed further back by Red Ray as they settle for the run to the line in the Lormerance Queen's Plate and head towards the 400. No worry, says, come and catch me if you can. Lake Arthur is closest to him, and Jackson is starting to unleash his run up the middle. Cape Town has gone to the inside rail. Then comes Xavier de Ora up the outside. Yorker, 200 meters left to go. Cape Town gets driven into the lead. Jackson is on the charge and he's coming with a late rally up the outside. Cape Town though has kicked away, and Cape Town wins the Lormerance Queen's Plate from Jackson. Jet Explorer absolutely flew to run into third.
Perfect run today, ideally drawn, well placed by Carl Nicius, and then just quickened as he can do. He's just got that amazing acceleration. He put the race to bed very quickly. I think an excellent run by Jackson, obviously done for acceleration, but stayed on well. And so that's an encouraging run for the Met. But I think the horse that we can really take out of this Queen's Plate looking ahead is Jet Explorer. That came zooming through from way off the pace, which is the second time he's done that in a row. Held up for a run. He's got a devastating turn of foot, and I think he'll prefer an easy 2000. So to me, I think Jet Explorer is a big run in the Met.
A storming run from Jet Explorer, but we haven't really looked beyond those placings, and we'd like to get your take on Yorker's performance, given the fact that on the very self-same weekend we had sparkling performances from both Talina and of course the Australian son of Churchill Downs.
Yeah, it was the Queen's Plate meeting for us was pretty disastrous really, Andy. I could see it in the blood counts and I was getting a little concerned the week prior, and just kind of hoping that maybe we were seeing shadows, but it did prove to be so. I sort of spoke obviously to quite a few of the guys in Cape Town, and apparently a lot of the horses at Milnerton were not doing well with some kind of, virus is a horrible word, it's like an excuse word, but let's just say there was something affecting the horses, and I thought we had our horses there like long enough that whatever was going around they would get it and get over it and get immunity from it. But looked like we hit it bang in the middle, because do you remember, had a bit of a runny nose after the race. Yorker had a little bit of peeling on his nose. They do call it a peely nose virus down there. Also I noticed that after, and just the horses weren't, they weren't really themselves. I mean, they're so much better than what they ran, we know. I don't think the Cape Town people know, because they're very parochial lot down there. One of the trainers told me, it's very hard in Cape Town. Well, I've got news for you, it's hard anywhere in a Grade 1. But we know our horses are better than that.
Obviously from the draw we were limited in what we could do. We had not too much option. We found a little bit of trouble early on, and I think once Gavin settled him in his position, he hit like a flat spot at the top of the straight, and after that he quickened up really nicely. So from the travelling to the way the race panned out to the way he's pulled up, everything's gone really smoothly, and you must have a chance in the Met once you're getting the allowance from horses that have won the Group 1, and that 2 kilos should come into play.
I obviously need to look at the track variance, Andrew, and do my number crunching for the day, but I think it's a significant pointer, and I think a true run race looked a solid effort.
It's been a very big day for Heroes. Obviously when you take a look at this particular race, all the winners so far had come from Philippi, and all of a sudden here comes the Lormeros Queen's Plate, Dean Cannemeyer to the 4, Mike Bass to the 4 in the Stayers race, but otherwise all the races have come from Philippi, which is quite an interesting and unusual stat.
Yeah, a bit of a shift in the balance of power, but the Crawford yard, hugely professional, and their record in this last season has been outstanding. High percentage stable, and obviously Justin, what the Snaiths have been doing in the last couple of years, building up a very high profile, winning lots of significant races, and having a huge output of winners, breaking the record last season, so they're doing exceptionally well.